think we all deserve to be happy in this life. And that's why, like, if you want a BBL, like, I'm not sitting here and, I'm not anti, anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause like I said, we all deserve to be happy in this life. If you can afford it and that's what you want, like, go do it. You know what I mean? Like, so like, yeah, the hair transplant, like, that's something that you can't control. That's genetics. You know what I mean? Like my dad bald, like I might be headed down that path, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like if you, decide that you don't want to be bald or you want hair, you know what I'm saying? You want to get it fixed up, whether LeBron did it, Tory Lanez did it, whatever. Like if you want to be 45 and still look like you got a fresh fade, you know what I'm saying? And then like go do that. Like, I'm like I said, I'm just big on like, people deserve to be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you deserve to be happy. And if, you insecure about your hair or, you want to.
What's up, y'all? So, look, let me just go ahead and keep it short with you. Did you know that as of 2024, the United States has a literacy problem? 21% of adults cannot read, and 54% of them have been recorded and it has been documented read below a sixth grade level. That is a catastrophe. But that's where I step in. Now, I'm not going to teach the grown folks how to read and write. However, PSA, the ghostwriting solution, has now a new package. It's called the Literacy Liftoff, and it caters to 9th through 12th graders who struggle with reading, writing, and comprehension. This new tutoring service will offer vocabulary skills, teaching students how to literally write from the bottom, literally teaching them how to do an introduction paragraph, how to do a hook, how to do a conclusion, how to add a little razzle dazzle and how to add their own personal touch to it. Okay. Now, you know what you're saying. Well, that's what they go to school for. Absolutely. But as an ex-teacher, the teachers just don't have time. So this program has 3 different packages from 3 different sets of hours that you can take. So if you're an AP, a principal, the student who needs help, the parent of the student, or you just know somebody who needs the help. If you're in the Houston area, you can get in-person tutorials. But if you are not in Houston, there are also virtual options offered as well. So hit me up at my email, theprodigyperspective@gmail.com and or psathepodcast.com, and we will hook you up. All right, bet. What's going on, y'all? We are here finally for the season series, not season finale. You're trying to cancel me already. Series finale of the As a Man series. So we went through 7 weeks because remember, one of the tracks was split in 2 weeks because it was too much. So we had track 1, Impatience, 2 over Zodiac Signs, 3, which was split into 2 parts. Why do you have anxiety? The 4th, which was about, the 5th was about people pleasing. The 4th was about being easily offended. And here we are today talking about self-care. Now, which, let me just go ahead and read the meme. So the meme read, as a man, why do you participate in self-care? Inspirations from this episode comes from a few different things. Just some of the things that I've researched, but also just from the aspect of when we think of self-care, I think people instantly think about spa dates and manicures and, being in the spa with the cucumbers over your eyes. You can tell I ain't never been in no spa because people actually do that for real or that's just for TV. So if they do that for real, I ain't been on none. But yeah, so that's how we're going to do that. And also, well, there's a lot of voices on here today. And yeah, but before we get into that, let me get into the happy hour real quick because I got something I need to rant about. So, okay. So for today's happy hour, I want to talk about something that happened that was I was upset that I missed. And I missed the fact that Chase had a glitch. Now, usually I'll be catching on to stuff like that, but I missed that. And I'm mad about it because had I would have caught it, they wouldn't have caught me. And they wouldn't have caught me because y'all was over here doing 100K, 300K. I just would did $1,000. I would did some real like sleek, like real like low key. Just like with PPP while y'all went to jail because y'all was asking for $1 million and stuff. If you would have just did the 5K like everybody else, not saying I did it, but I'm just saying if you was gonna do the 5K like everybody else, nobody would be at your door. But y'all stupid. So if Chase, if I would have caught that glitch, like people was catching the glitch and then like getting bottles at the club saying what they did. Like that was a real thing. At first I thought it was a joke until I saw it on somebody's story. And I said, oh, y'all dumb. I was just mad that I missed that. I'm just really mad that I missed that because if I would have caught it, like I said, I just would have did like $1,000. But now people facing Fed time for a weekend of fun. So it really wasn't worth it. But what else I was going to say about that? It was something I was going to say. I don't know. I'm going to come back to it. When I think of it, I'm going to bring it back up. But all right, y'all. So today is a little different because we're having not a red table talk. We ain't doing that BS. But we're having a talk today about self-care from aspects of men who are all from different walks of life in a sense, and just kind of getting this first ever virtual kind of town hall meeting thing I want to get done. I think Anton Daniels does stuff like this a lot. And as we continue to do this again, this is first like the guinea pig episode with this. I want to try again with like as many people as I can get. But I know I will be here for like 2 hours, and I ain't gonna lie, I ain't got that much time with this one, only because I guess my air is out and I'm starting to sweat, and I'm not about to be up here drenched on camera. So let me go ahead and introduce my first guest and ask so y'all can get a chance to meet him. John Zobal, what's going on?
What's up, man? I'm glad. I didn't know if I was the first guest or the second guest, man, but I'm glad I'm finally on the show. We've been talking about this for years, you know what I'm saying? So finally here, I'm glad my AC working, so I'm in a little bit of better shape than you. I see your face glistening though, you know what I'm saying? You glowing, not for the right reasons, but you are glowing. But I'm happy to be on the pod, man.
Oh, all right. So can you tell the people they can see it vert on YouTube, but for the audio people, can you tell the people what's your name, where you're from, and where you live?
Jonathan Davis, from Arlington, Texas, in Houston. Yeah, well, I guess I want to get ahead of you, so I'm just gonna answer the questions that you asked. Yeah.
Tell the people what you do.
What do I do? Like for a living?
I mean, yeah, your hobby, not your hobbies, but like, what do you do? What do you have a podcast, that kind of thing?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I work in healthcare, 9 to 5 boys still, you know, hopefully not for, too much longer. I'm trying to like Izzy, you know what I'm saying, make it in front of this podcast, Mike, but healthcare boys. And then, I host a podcast, as you can see, you know what I'm saying? Texas on the hoodie, Texas on the hat, Locked on Longhorns on YouTube. We just hit 4,000 subscribers this week, you know what I'm saying? So help us get to 5,000. But yeah, healthcare boys 9 to 5, and then podcast boys 5 to 9.
5 to 9. All right, bet. Now let me introduce my next person for the day. Antho, what's going on?
How we doing, y'all? How we doing, y'all?
So same question. Tell the people what's your name, where you're from, and where do you live now?
My name is Anthony Watson. I'm from Houston, and I live in Houston as well.
And what do you do?
I'm an ASL interpreter. For those who don't know, American Sign Language. So that's what I do. I don't do anything else outside of that. So yeah.
Are you sure you don't hate?
I'm a big time hater, but I don't know about this. You try to be in competition with me, so I don't know, man. But I'm a pretty big hater for sure.
So let me say something real quick before we get to the stuff. So on the other day on Instagram, this man reposted me after I DM'd him, and he said, "What should I do with his account? Should I block him? Should I restrict him?" Or it was something else. And everybody was in my DMs like, "Yeah, they should block you." I'm like, whose side are y'all on here?
I feel like I get terrorized by you a lot, and it's like people think I'm a hater, but I don't be hating like that. Like your hate is next level. It's very next level.
It's not next level. I just be trolling. I be playing with you. That's how I show love.
100%.
Like if I don't troll you, are we really friends? You saw how this man got on here talking about me. Like he been doing that since college. It'd be groups of people who just start saying some wild stuff. I'd be like, I ain't even had my big toe in the door. He just start going in. Okay. So as we talk about self-care today, we're gonna talk about some real stuff, but because we got clowns here, it's gonna be funny, but that's the goal. So I'm gonna start with Antho first, since she was introduced last. when we talk about self-care, what is self-care to you, and why do you feel that it's demonized amongst men?
For me, self-care looks like, I would say, exercising, making yourself breakfast in the morning, whether it's a smoothie or actual meal, or just hanging out with your friends, hanging out with your homies. And I won't say it's demonized, but maybe it is because I don't know. I think self-care is more so put on social media as more of a feminine thing in the beginning, and once men get a hold of things, even though we've been doing these things all the time, we just now are labeling it self-care. People kind of don't like that because it was probably looked upon as a feminine thing in the very beginning when it was being talked about on social media a lot. So that's my thoughts on it.
All right, John, same thing for you. Why do you think that is demonized, and what is self-care to you?
Well, I think like self-care is just anything that you like to do. You know what I'm saying? Anything that benefits you, like anything that you do that puts you in a better place. And then you talk about why it may be demonized. I wouldn't say that it's demonized. I think that recently over, the past, however many years, self-care has really been, kind of put to the forefront in terms of everybody needing it. I think, sometimes when you're dealing with men, we can kind of have that hyper masculine, complex, like Anthony said. When you think of, self-care, you kind of think of it in a feminine sense, you know what I mean? But self-care could be sitting down on Saturday watching football all day, sitting down on Sunday watching football all day, you know what I mean? So I think that, everybody participates in self-care, right? Because we all do the things that we like to do. So men, women, whatever, we participate in self-care. But I think when you put that label on it, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a feminine label, and, hyper masculine men may reject that, but we all participate in self-care, whether you think you do or not.
I think that's a good point, which is crazy because it transitions to the next segment, which is what does this have to do with mental health? But it's a great segue because it just goes off the, just into the conversation about basically people do it even if they don't realize it. It's kind of like the whole situation. What's a good aspect or good way I can look at it? Like sometimes as people, we judge and don't realize we are. Like some people say, oh, don't be judgy. But sometimes we all do it in a way we have to catch ourselves, but we don't realize that we're doing it. So I think that's kind of the same way to look at it too. Now, I did have some examples of self-help. So y'all named some good ones that actually weren't even on the list. But the other ones include therapy, a spa day, which I mentioned earlier. So real quick, has anybody ever been to a spa before?
So I haven't been to a spa, but it's funny because I've been watching Suits on Netflix, and you was talking about the whole cucumber on the eyes thing, and like it's a dude on there named Lewis, and like he be doing the little mud baths with the like cucumbers on his eyes. So I'm like, that is a real thing, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what it does, you know what I mean, but it is a real thing. But I haven't been to the spa myself, you know what I'm saying? That's a form of self-care I haven't tapped into yet.
Okay, well, Anthony, you had your hand raised. So how does a light-skinned spa day look for you?
Well, it's not one of those fancy spots like that. More so like a nail salon where they give you manicures and pedicures. And I've been to, I'm big on supporting Black business. I don't know about you, but I am. So this one girl, she does it's like Complexion Skins Lab or something like that, and she does like facial stuff like that. And I got a facial done by her. That's my first time doing it, and I need to go back to see her. But it's a regular day. Just usually I go with my significant other. I would go and get manicure, pedicure, get the clear coat and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Simple stuff.
Okay. So I'm just making sure. So you ain't done the cucumbers thing, but he say because see, I've seen it on TV, but I've never seen it in real life.
I never seen it in real life myself. Never.
Okay, and then the cucumber's going viral right now because they got the cucumber salad that everybody want to do. I want to try that. So maybe I can do that salad and then like in the house when our air is back on, put the cucumbers on my eyes and just see if that does anything. And one that's really good that I keep seeing about, which I'm probably gonna have to do, is a digital detox. So taking a break from technology and social media. Journaling is good. I do that every day. Grooming and self and skincare, we talked about that. Volunteering, I actually give to the poor a lot, but I haven't actually like been to nowhere lately to do anything else, but I've just been giving stuff away. And if I see a homeless man on the street, one time I was led to give him like $25. So I felt pretty good about that because I don't know what he bought with it, but I just told him, I said, hey, use it right. I did say that. That's a real thing. Why'd you laugh out for real?
And man can do what he want with that money, man. leave
I
that
know.
man
I'm
alone.
just
It's too
saying,
late
like,
for that.
but what I was more so saying that, like, you're gonna do what you want, but I was more so saying that, like, look, you getting a blessing today.
Don't spend it all at once.
Yeah. Exploring hobbies. They talk about street photography, woodworking. I don't know nothing about that. And then it says cooking. Obviously, that's a great creative outlet. Now, three things. So I'm trying to say the one that's most interesting for last. So embracing emotions. I think we're starting to do that more. But unfortunately, as I've described on this podcast in general, especially during this series, we can get called sassy. But it's a cultural thing. I will say this, and I'm explaining like this. Like, if a man is very sarcastic and he grew up in a certain type of environment, and because let's just call it what it is, like, we know white men are very sarcastic and snarky. If a black guy does it, it's like it's demonized. But if a white guy does it, it's normal. Like, that's how they, you know what I mean? So, because you can tell, like, certain people when they grew up, type of environments they grew up in. So I think that's interesting to say. But I think that we are starting to. I was on a panel a few weeks ago, and we were talking about how a lot of girls and a lot of black women that were present were saying, like, they like when their men express themselves. Even they claim, even when it's things they don't want to hear. I believe that was some of them, all of them. So yeah. Now, one of these I've tapped into a little bit, but not really. Solo traveling, taking a trip alone to reconnect. Some people deem that as selfish or unusual. I don't think that is either or. When is the last time either one of y'all taken a solo trip?
I think my last, not the last one, but I went to Chicago with it by myself, Indianapolis by myself. I just knew folks there, but I went there like last week, and I think I did a decent amount of solo traveling. Like, when I went to San Francisco in April, I went there by myself and didn't meet nobody there. I just went out there to go watch the Warriors play. So I think it's cool. I don't have to worry about nobody else. It's just me, myself, and I have to make my own decisions. So I don't have to, play anything by ear with anyone else. So I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as like a solo trip, like you said, like I've gone by myself, but then like I knew people there. But as far as just like solo trip, like I'm out there on my own, doing my own thing, probably 2022.
Okay. And that's the thing. And I was like, is there a difference between going somewhere and knowing people there are actually traveling by yourself? I mean, technically it's kind of the same, really, but then it is kind of different because, like, to me, solo traveling, I assume that to me it would be like you go to DC by yourself, you don't know nobody out there, you're just doing everything you want to do. I mean, they technically the same thing, but I guess one is more of an advantage because if you know people there,
Yeah.
if you ain't
But I feel like
staying
like people. I feel like people like us, like we know somebody everywhere, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we're not gonna fly into Atlanta and not know nobody. Like, whether you link with them or not is different. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we gonna know somebody in LA, New York. Like we went to college. You know what I'm saying? Like Atlanta, like Vegas. You know what I mean? Like we just know a lot of people. So inevitably you gonna know somebody there. You know what I mean? But that don't mean that you can't get there and still do your own thing. So. I think if you going by yourself and and nobody else is part of the planning or going with you, or you're not going on a trip with people, then I still look at that as a solo trip, even if you linking up with people there.
Yeah. Now, the final one I thought was interesting. It's called self-exploration. And it says it's usually thought of with women only. And it says engaging in solo sexual exploration is a way for men to get in touch with their physical selves. Though it's considered taboo to discuss, this can help men better understand their bodies and desires. This is my take on that for anybody says anything.
Is that masturbation? Like, is that what you said?
Yeah, that's a fancy way of jacking off. And for me, I get that they say that is a good form of self-care, but I don't agree with that, only because to me, I believe this world has become very perverse and everything is sexual. And it's just like, why? I don't. Okay. Anthony, take it away.
That's the case. I feel like we all been doing some exploration since we were like teenagers. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think that's tricky because it's like, I think in moderation, I guess it could be self-care. There's a lot of like science on like the, positive and negative effects of it. But I think, if you do it too much, you can start to, like cause isolation. Like you can isolate yourself. Like the more that you can, I guess the more that you self-explore, the less that you're gonna need somebody else to explore, you know what I'm saying, with you. So it might be too much self-care, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I think that's when I read that, I hear go jack off all day and just solve all your problems that way, because that's what I hear. And although that's not what they're saying, somebody heard that and somebody like bet. So now they finna go, do that. Like, oh, you pissing me off, bet. I got something for you. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like it's just, I don't know. But I wanted to say that one for last, and we got many more questions like that coming through. But they're gonna, like I said, they're gonna hit you left field, so be prepared for that. So we talked about that, like you said, leading into isolation. Now, there's a comment about physical self-care, like fitness and diet, and we know that. Although, again, I think you made a good point that I really want to hone in on. Self-care becoming too much, as far as we take it to the extreme. So we started out with the conversation about, you can masturbate yourself to oblivion, but also when it comes to physical self-care, like you see people who look great in the gym, they may go to the gym too much. And of course, somebody might say there's no such thing, but it's always too much of something for most things. I'll say 95% of things. So example, you see people in the gym. I see people ripped up, body crazy. You know what I'm saying? But then, and this is something I had to get off of the energy drinks, like the C4s and stuff, because I was doing them daily. It was one point I was doing them twice a day. Our heart can't take that. What I want to ask with physical fitness and diet, do you feel as though, and John, I'll start with you. Do you feel as though, how is your diet right now? Let me ask you that.
My diet's been really good. It was trash for a long time, you know what I'm saying? But I turned 30, and not to, just get like real somber. But like over the last month and a half, we seen Jacoby Jones die at 40. Hypertension, kind of heart related. Beat King died at 39, the same thing, pulmonary embolism. And I have high blood pressure, you know what I mean? So, I'm 30, I turned 31. I don't know when this drops, but I turned 31 on the 16th. So, I've been definitely more conscious of that, just because I'm like, when you see people that are 8-9 years older than you dying, you know what I mean? Literally, because, their health isn't in order. That's been a big wake up call for me. So, I went like years eating fast food damn near every day, but then turned it around lately for sure. Cause, like I said, I'm trying to make it past 39, 40.
And so now, what is your diet like? Now, you've been on the road, so I know it probably ain't the best.
So
you was on tour. So how is it now that you've gotten back? Are you about to come back and
Yeah, I think by tomorrow I'll definitely be back at the grocery store. Because being on the road, like you said, it's been very, very trash. And then like with drinking liquor, like that makes it even worse. So the plan right now is to definitely get some groceries in here and meal prep again, and like stop drinking liquor for at least a month.
Yeah, so I've been on I'll make 60 days on the 17th of no alcohol, and it has been, thank you, because they're close friends, belligerent, can't see. But it's really not that bad. I'm not gonna say I'll never have a drink again, but I definitely can say my relationship with alcohol has changed. And bro, talk about self-care. You know how much money you spend when you don't be buying alcohol? Like when I go out to eat, I'll be like, give me 2 appetizers. You look at the bill, you spend $30. And usually the drinks be about $30, because if you're not gonna just have no one drink, like you're not no housewife, we some real, people. So you in there drinking. So, and of course you can say, well, certain places that got cheap liquor. Yeah, we know that, but how they go. Do you feel as though, I think the answer is yes, but I'm really more so posing the question to the audience, because the question was, do you think these things can replace emotional and mental self-care for men, and such things such as fitness and, as we mentioned earlier, self-exploration? My answer would be yes, because then it's I'm having a bad day, let me go do this, or let me go run to the gym. And not saying that you shouldn't use that to help, but I think when you're using those things to replace actual help and replacing things like that, I think that's an issue. Now, we brought up earlier therapy. I know I've been to a therapist on two different occasions. Have either one of y'all been to a therapist?
No,
You know,
no.
Would you go?
I'm not interested. Not
Okay,
yet.
not yet. Okay, why?
I just don't see myself having any type of problems in my life that I feel like I can talk to someone else. I have to pay someone to talk to about my problems. I feel like I have friends and I have significant, close, like loved ones that I could probably talk to if anything. And I think lately I've been thinking like a lot of things that I feel like I have issues with or I see like problems within myself. I could trickle it down to my parents and stuff like that. But anyway, like at the end of the day, if I need to talk to somebody about something, I talk to my friends or my loved ones. Like I'm not gonna pay no one to talk to. Not right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel bad that I'm even about to say this, and so I got to give the disclaimer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you feel therapy is working for you, it's good for you. If you want to explore it, like, please go do that for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, please do not take what I'm about to say as like the barometer on whether you should, go to therapy or not, or what Anthony said. But I've always told myself I just can't see myself paying for advice. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just straight up. Like that's just how I feel. So, like I said, I don't want to discourage anybody. I'm not cool. I don't think I'm cool. Anything like that. If you think therapy is, what I'm saying, a good option for you, for sure, explore that. But just personally, like I said, I can't see myself paying for advice.
Well, so I'll give my take on that because, like I said, although I've been to therapy two different times, and I also have a very dark sense of humor, that's why I can laugh at that. What I will say is I can understand why people don't want to, especially men, because you look at that aspect of the logic, which I get. I can't see myself paying for nobody. Now, in my case, I ain't have to pay nobody because the jobs that I've worked have covered that. So it's really all you gotta do is sign the paper, show up. Now, would I have paid? I'm not saying that I wouldn't have, but I don't know because I never have had to. But what I can say is for me, it just helped me to think differently and look outside of what was going on. And sometimes I think that the issue can be when you do talk to your friends about stuff is no matter what type of friend you got, they're going to be biased because it's you. That can be a good bias or a bad bias because sometimes people don't secretly don't be liking you. But not even just off that, just on the angle of they may still say stuff in your favor. Sometimes I feel like we do need what's what I'm looking for? Somebody out of place, not a place, but like not in the mix of what's going on, just to kind of hear what you have to say and give you a view from the licensed professional. Because there's some therapists out here that's literal life like cold. Like you be like, I see why you getting paid all that money to do that. But then
Yeah.
on the flip side, we do live in a world now too where obviously podcasts and books are not replacements for therapy, but I've even had licensed therapists on my podcast who have said like, until you get to that point, there are books, there are podcasts, there are YouTube channels with those things. So I like because the things that y'all have said is because my target audience, a lot of them do think like that. So if you have a podcast from somebody like me who's interviewing people who are certified, licensed, and then I'm picking their brains for people like us, I think that helps for people who think like that. So
Yeah,
that's
and
what.
what I want to say really quickly too is like everybody's different. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And so it may help you or benefit you to be able to talk to somebody that's not only unbiased, but like you said, we're all human, but you have that faith or confidence in that they won't judge you, right? Because if it's like, surface level things going on, like things at work, things in your relationship, we can all, I hope, have somebody like our best friend or a family member we can talk to, about that or something like that. But let's just say you at your deepest, darkest point. You know what I'm saying? Like you really don't know how to move forward. I mean, you having crazy thoughts, just whatever, right? You know what I mean? Like you really at your lowest. You might not be comfortable, telling your best friend about that. Like let's say you dead broke. Let's say you got a gambling problem. You might not be comfortable telling the people you love about that. You know what I'm saying? So you may need to go somebody that's unbiased and doesn't know you from another client on the piece of paper. So I think it just depends on the person and it depends on your communication style. Like Anthony said, he can go to his friends, he can go to his significant other, he can go to his family. So he has that support system. Everybody doesn't have that. You know what I mean? Like we have to be realistic about the fact that there's some people in this world that don't have friends, period, really, or don't have a go-to. You know what I'm saying? And so in that sense, a therapist may be, more of an asset than, somebody, compared to like people like us who feel like we have those, therapist type options around us. You know what I mean? So, definitely I think therapists can be a great source. You know what I mean? It just depends on the person. And I think that's where that self-care comes from, or that self-realization, self-awareness, right? Knowing what you need. You know what I mean? Like knowing what you need to improve and be better, right? Because like I said, you know, Jonathan Davis feels like he doesn't need therapy, and I could be tripping. You know what I mean? Like that could be something that I realize, you know, down the road. But just because Jonathan Davis doesn't need therapy doesn't mean that John Doe doesn't need it. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it's just about that self-awareness and self-realization, and knowing what you need, and then being able to go out and get what you need. Because a lot of people will be like, damn, I probably need a therapist. But like you said, they won't even, you know, just sign up for that piece of paper. They won't even look at the website and see the therapist in their area. They won't look up the prices and see what it is, or, you know, what they need to do to go look for one. So I think that's just, you know, all comes down to, you know, understanding what you need, and then, you know, going out and attacking those needs.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so let's move on to how this, we got some data on how this aligns with mental health. So it says self-care enhances mental resilience and energy. According to the article, the connection between self-care and mental health from Psychology Today, self-care practices like quality sleep, proper nutrition, and mindfulness are key to boosting mental energy and resilience. These habits reconnect young men with their bodies and minds, fostering clarity and reducing stress, which is crucial for long-term health. And this comes from Psychology Today. And the second one says self-care reduces reliance on unhealthy coping mechanisms. And the article, 11 Tips for Men and Their Mental Health from the Cleveland Clinic Health Essentials, is emphasized that young men often turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms such as substance abuse, excessive work, or compulsive behaviors to handle stress. Regular self-care practices include hobbies and physical activities, provide healthy outlets that prevent these harmful behaviors and improve mental well-being. Now, with that, I like both of those. I got one more, but I wanted just a quick break. So I see that when they talk about hobbies, I've seen pickleball. That's a new thing. I see it a lot. I see people doing it. Do you play pickleball, Anth, because you laughed like you did?
No, but I want to get into it. But I like
Okay,
to get into all things activeness. Like anything active, I want to get into.
Okay, so does it play like tennis? Like I've never really done the research on it. I just kind of see.
Me neither. It's very similar to tennis. When it comes to, I guess, on the outside looking in, it looks similar to tennis. You have a racket, you have a ball, you have 2 or 4 people playing. I guess mostly it's 4 people playing. That's really all I got for you.
It seemed like tennis for mortals, right? Like it's like if you're not, you know, Venus or Serena, it's like, you know, tennis for you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what pickleball is.
Have you played it before?
Nah, but I'm intrigued. You know what I'm saying? Like Anthony, I'm intrigued. You know what I'm saying?
I was asked.
It seemed like the new golf too. Like in circles. Like it seemed like the new golf. Like everybody's just like, you know, it's like somebody in your circle is picking up pickleball. You know what I mean? Like it's the new golf for sure.
Yeah.
I said Sprint, so you know I'm tripping. But I was at T-Mobile not too long ago, and I was getting my phone fixed.
Yeah, free pickleball.
And they had free pickleball. Everybody was running in there by the lines, and I'm like, the line pack. I'm like, dang, I just need to get this phone transferred over. So I get in there. That was on my self-care day. And so I get in there, the lines busting out the door. I'm like, are y'all serious? And they was so then somebody with a brain came up and was like, okay, so if you're here for pickleball, get over here. If you're here for anything else, get over here. It's like 2 people there for regular stuff. And so they were just giving out the little racket. So I'm like, I don't know, I might need to look into that at some point in the near future just to see what it's about. I feel like it might be fun. And you know, I'm all for networking, and networking is not always, you know, podcast interviews, you know, sometimes that's kind of stuff you can meet people too. You know, I don't know. Just thinking that, throwing it out there. Okay, so then the final one for as far as mental health goes, it talks about breaking societal norms that hinder well-being. The Psychology Today article, How Male Neglect of Self-Care Affects Their Partners, it explores how societal pressures such as toxic masculinity often prevent men from practicing self-care. It says this creates a harmful mindset where vulnerability and emotional expression are seen as weakness. However, integrating self-care can help men change these beliefs and prioritize their emotional and mental health. So from everything thus far, pretty much we kind of all agree, and of course some things not so much, but have been able to disagree in a healthy way. Now I've noticed that there are some things I know some men they say they refuse to do. Like I know some men say they refuse to go get manicures and pedicures. They said they refuse to okay, let me say this. I know some men which I think is wild, and I think is actually the opposite. I know some men who don't want to go work out, but want to go get Ozempic. To me, that's actually more feminine because I feel like as a man, you need to be in the gym. So when we talk about self-care and we talk about quick fixes, what is your take on the new male BBLs?
The abs and stuff, like the
Yeah,
ab
like
ab
etching,
Man
or
Man Kevo.
Oh, like
that
the
stuff
ab
is.
etching and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, for me, for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't want to dissuade anybody in the audience, you know what I'm saying? But for me, man, if you can't do it on them dumbbells, you know what I'm saying? If you can't do it with that weight bar, you know what I'm saying? Like if you can't do it with your diet, then it just can't be done. You know what I'm saying? But this is a self-care episode. So you know what I mean, let me let me frame it, you know what I'm saying? Let me twist it. I think we gotta also be a little bit more comfortable or loving ourselves where we are. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have goals and you want to get to a certain spot, but I think so much of this, BBL and all of this surgery thing, and I'm not saying that it's, I mean, if you can afford it and you want it, go do it. Like, you only get one life to live. But I do think a lot of that is rooted in, not being in love with yourself. And I think like if you can find, ways to fall in love with yourself, like, that, what I mean, like that's gonna, um, I'm trying to think of the best way to frame this, but I like I said, I do think, like you said, the male BBL, the etching of the abs, and all of this, like it's like we always focus on who we want to be. You know what I'm saying? We always focus on who we want to look like, who we want to be, instead of who we are. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if you can get really to a place of where you love who you are and you can, be confident and exude confidence in terms of who you are, then you'll be good. You know what I mean? If you can rock the get money gut, you can rock the get money gut. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I would never etch my abs. You know what I mean? Like, I feel good without the six pack. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, if you know what I mean, if you in the audience and you got 10 bands or whatever to go do that, and you want to look like Terry Crews, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and go do it. You know what I mean? Like, for sure.
Anthony, what's your take on that? You just agree with everything he said.
I agree with what he says. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you do have goals in mind, like, don't try to rush the process. It's progress, not perfection. And you can actually, fall in love with, working out and doing things like that if you are not necessarily trying to rush the process. So I think when it came to me, like I was like overweight at some point, and I'm like, all right, this is terrible. I gotta, get back into the gym and fall in love with the gym again. And I wanted to fall in love with the gym again, and made it fun for myself. And like, I don't know, man. Like I agree with everything Jonathan said. Like, just love yourself, man. Love the process, and just don't try to rush everything.
And the point I want to add to that too is like accomplishment is a form of self-care, right? Like, are you gonna feel better if you go get your abs etched or you worked a year to get them abs? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's gonna feel better to you? You know what I mean? That feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of getting up and going to the gym every day and being like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Even though I didn't feel like going today, I went in there and went hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's better to go through it, you know what I mean, than to go around it. You know what I'm saying? And so like a lot of people are just trying to go around it now, but like that feeling of accomplishment can, like really make you feel good. So, sometimes you really got to, get it out the mud. Sometimes you got to go through the grind because you're going to feel a lot better after. Like if the end result is the same, the dude went to the gym for a year to get abs and you went and laid on that table to get abs, I promise you, he's going to feel a lot better about his abs than you do. Because if you insecure about your stomach, you know what I'm saying? Like you getting your abs etched, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's gonna make you not insecure. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have abs now,
Right.
but you still might be insecure. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, do it look like they etched? Do they look real? You know what I'm saying? Can I take my shirt off without looking like a clown? You know what I mean? So, like, man, go through the process, go through the grind. You're gonna feel a lot better at the end for sure.
I just think it's interesting because like, originally we know back in the day, like when we was kids, I remember the only surgery I remember hearing about was like Botox and like breast implants. Then now it's like they literally have surgery for everything. So now that we're talking about self-care and we talk about, of course, this is geared towards me, and I know y'all think now you talk now. You said, now I'm going off what you said. You said, Jonzo Ball, that I'm uncomfortable with how I am, which I believe. I know this man in real life. I don't think in his mind, I don't think he has a flaw. If he do, he don't show it. But would you have that same energy for somebody who went to go get their hair transplant?
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think like things like that are, I want to say they're different, you know what I'm saying? But I think we all deserve to be happy in this life. And that's why, like, if you want a BBL, like, I'm not sitting here and, I'm not anti, anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, we all deserve to be happy in this life. If you can afford it and that's what you want, like, go do it. You know what I mean? Like, so like, yeah, the hair transplant, like, that's something that you can't control. That's genetics. You know what I mean? Like my dad bald, like I might be headed down that path, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you, decide that you don't want to be bald or you want hair, you know what I'm saying? You want to get it fixed up, whether LeBron did it, Tory Lanez did it, whatever. Like if you want to be 45 and still look like you got a fresh fade, you know what I'm saying? And then like, go do that. Like, I'm, like I said, I'm just big on like, people deserve to be happy. You know what I mean? Like you deserve to be happy. And if, you insecure about your hair or, you want to look a certain way and you can afford that, then go do it. Like I said, like if we're talking about something that can be achieved two different ways and you're just kind of shortcutting the process, that's a little different. You know what I mean? Because like I said, anything is possible that you put your mind to, right? Like we talking about etching your abs. You can go get them abs without laying on that table. Like I promise. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got to dig a little deeper. You know what I'm saying? You got to look within. It's only so much praying you can do, to get a full head of hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? There's only so many oils and vitamins you could take, you know what I'm saying? And like to get a full head of hair, that's not gonna work. So like I said, I'm just big on, people being happy and, doing what they want to do in this life. And, I'm glad that it's becoming more not only more common, but I'm glad that it's becoming less taboo. I mean, you still kind of see somebody, you'd be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I just saw you 2 weeks ago. Like, you ain't had it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, it's still kind of like that judgmental aspect there. But, I do think that, like I said, like, if you able to, go get that and do it and it makes you feel better about yourself, you able to, live life in a happier and healthier state, then, I'm all for it.
I think with that is more of I feel like you got to have a good sense of humor with that, especially if you're in the public eye, and you can't care what nobody think about you. That's a form of self-care, not caring what nobody think about you. And if you were to do that, you need to know people are going to clown. You need to be prepared for that. Like I said, this is for both sides of the ball. I'm not saying I'm a clown. I'm just saying people going to clown and people going to make jokes and things, and you just have to accept that. Now, the hair thing, I might let you slide with that because it's like, it is a surgery, but it's like, I mean, I don't have to do it. I'm not saying that y'all gonna see me in my hairline gonna be like right here. But what I'm saying is, I just think it's interesting because so many people run from, like you said, John said, they run from who they are. And they just, instead of just accepting it where you at, because instead of you embracing the receding hairline, just saying, let me go bald, he said people trying to put oils and things on, trying to revive it. And it's like,
it's not there.
You might need to go ahead.
Like I said, and just my point to that is though, like, like everybody's not built the same. That's the beauty of us, all being, I don't know if I can say this, I don't know, Johnny, that's the beauty of us, all being God's children, whoever you believe in, if you believe in something, you know what I'm saying? So, like, everybody can't just look in the mirror and be like, I'm gonna rock this anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody can't look in the mirror and be like, I still look good. You know what I'm saying? Like, full disclosure, I can say this because, it's on Instagram. Like, my line brother went to Turkey and got his shit realigned. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, 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 and he had a girl and everything, he had a career, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, she loved him anyway, but it's like, at the end of the day, like, you want to be proud of what you see in the mirror. Like, and, there's multiple, routes and options to get there, so. Hey.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. So what was y'all response to that? Did y'all say anything?
Well, I mean, one of my LBs sent it to me personally, probably being a little messy, and I just started crying, laughing, you know what I'm saying? But I support him, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say nothing about it when I see him, you know what I'm saying? But I did start crying, laughing when I saw it.
Oh, it's recent. It's like right now.
It was like over the last month and a half for sure.
He in hiding?
It's new. I don't know what he is.
Okay. Well, all right. Now, before
I think he reposted it on his Instagram, though. He's not in my algorithm, you know what I'm saying? But I think he reposted it on his Instagram, Either that or my LB did some deep digging to find it, you know what I'm saying? Because the post he sent me was the people in Turkey that posted it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I would assume my LB had to repost it, you know what I mean? Like, but,
Oh man! All right.
Now that we turn this into a roasting session on my line, brother, I hope you don't see this, man.
A friend of mine who was a young lady, she said, and we're going back, she said she wouldn't want, and I'm going to use her verbiage. She said, I wouldn't want to date no nigga and we go get manicures and pedicures together. That's weird. So my question was is he getting a full set like you, or what do you think he's doing? She said, and her response was, it's not that to me. It's just weird seeing a man do that.
I think that's just an ignorant mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you know, I mean, that's just an ignorant mindset. Like, I could see if he was getting his nails painted and that's not your preference. Like, you know, you're allowed to have preferences.
Right.
But isn't the literal point of like a manicure and a pedicure to like clean and like prevent infection and like make sure that your nails, you know what I mean, are clean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, I mean, you don't want your man to be clean. Like, that's just hygiene. You know? It's not even about but that's the problem. Like, we just label everything. You know what I'm saying? Why is a pedicure and a manicure feminine? You know what I'm saying? It's literally cleaning yourself. Like, why is that feminine? You know what I'm saying? So then once you put that feminine label on it, once you put it in a box, now you're judging, right? Like if I'm in the nail shop and I'm getting a pedicure, I'm getting my feet cleaned. You know what I'm saying? Literally, like I'm getting my feet professionally cleaned. But you looking at it like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like blah, 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 his sexual orientation, he must be gay, whatever. Like I'm getting my feet clean. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happens when you put things in a box, when you label things, you know what I mean? Like you get ignorant responses like that.
And it makes it much harder for like men to do anything at this point. Like now like, a guy might want to do something like that because she just labeled it weird. Like it just
exactly. Yeah. So there you go. And it's just like all a cycle because now a man like he like, well, damn, I can't go get no pedicure. Like how I'm gonna look, you know what I'm saying? Like I look weak. Like, and it's like once again, it's hygiene, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like same thing with a facial. Like you know what I mean? Like we start attaching sexual orientations and feminine and masculinity to hygiene. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like I said, is when you get ignorant responses like that.
Well, that was the purpose of starting this series for that, because I just wanted to obviously satire, make fun of it with the after things that'll change. And so we've been able to do that this entire run. So much so that we're going to do a volume 2 at the end of the this season. So just drop some for everybody in case you didn't know. That's what we're going to do, how we're going to end it off. And we got some for that. But it's unfortunate because, like I said, we can't do nothing. And I'm really tired of the gender wars just in general. Because I stated before, I've stated on Instagram, I've stated on this podcast, like we all need each other. So it really is just like we need each other. And I think that sometimes we get caught up in the masses, we get caught up in the social media antics, we get caught up in the games, we got too much going on. So, okay, all right, good stuff. Now let's go to the next segment, which is I Challenge That. And it's perfect timing for this segment because we actually have a new challenger. So let me go ahead and introduce my boy here. Jay Shep, what's going on?
Hello, everybody.
Where are you at? You said what? Here, I'm going to remove you and add you back.
Okay,
yeah, well, yeah, I don't know about that. Boy, internet tweaking.
Yeah, no, wait. Did it came out? Did it No, it's going in and out. It's going in and out.
Need to challenge that internet.
I was like, nah, he got this Wi-Fi tripping right now. We're going to add him back in a minute. Okay. So do you feel that now that we're going to the other side of talking about self-care, so we've just had a whole long debate about what we need to accept and do. Now, do you feel as though self-care may be starting to turn to or be another way of men to indulge in vanity in any way?
Say it again.
So do you feel like that self-care may end up becoming like people may start to indulge in like vanity? Like you like look at me, like I'm trying to think of good examples because it's but yeah, they're gonna pop up at the right time.
I think, like I said, I think it's just about how you conceptualize self-care. Like I think that like the way you define things like means so much. Like what the word means to you means so much because Like just talking to your homies is self-care. You know what I'm saying? Watching football, if you're a football fan, is self-care. Going to hoop, if you're a hooper, is self-care. You know what I'm saying? Like going and cutting the grass. If you like being outside, doing stuff like that is self-care. Shopping could be self-care, whatever. So like I think, we just put it in a box of like self-care is going to the gym, getting a facial, getting a pedicure, getting a manicure. Like it's all about things that you're doing to your physical appearance, where self-care is literally just what you love to do, what you indulge in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it could be good or bad. Like self-care could be, eating a whole, thing of Oreos at one point. You know what I'm saying? At one time. Like, you know what I mean? Like self-care could be what you like to indulge in. But yeah, I mean, I guess it could be, depending on what your, form of self-care is. But, like I said, like we all engage in self-care. Self-care could be getting on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be on Twitter all the time. Like that's, what I mean? That's a form of self-care to me. Like it's probably a toxic form of self-care, but it's self-care nonetheless. So, I say when you just look at it like with a broader brush of what you love to do and don't put it in that box, then I mean, yeah, we all engage in self care. Even and like you said, there's some men that like snub their nose at self care when they do it too. You know what I mean? Like playing 2K, playing NCAA 25, that's self care. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it all is. Like just look at it with a broader brush.
So when you get on Twitter, you said you get on Twitter. What do you get on Twitter for?
To laugh. I mean, for me, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't really just watch the news. Like Twitter damn near like CNN to me too. You know what I'm saying? Like I get on Twitter. That's how I know what be going on. But for sure, I just get on there to laugh. I'm square in the middle of Black Twitter. I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. And I just be on there crying. You know what I mean? So to me, like, I get on Instagram now and it's everybody trying to sell you something or, trying to, convince you they fine. You know what I'm saying? Like Snapchat grimy. You know what I'm saying? TikTok a little bit too complex for me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Twitter is still pure. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Twitter crazy. Don't get me wrong, but it's just pure. Like, it's just people putting what they think on there, good or bad. You know what I mean? Like, you can comment on the president. You know what I'm saying? The president can say something, you can comment on it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, Twitter is just pure. Like, whether it, some people crazy and they get on there and with their crazy thoughts. Like, some people smart as hell. They get on Twitter, being smart as hell. Some people funny as hell. So they get on Twitter and they be funny. It's just pure. Like, so yeah, that's still the best, social media app in the world to me. But like I said, I just get on there because it's funny. You know what I mean? Like, but there's always something interesting on Twitter to me every day, every time I get on there.
100%.
You get on Instagram, I feel like you see the same every day. Like, first of all, they're gonna put the same 6-7 people's stories in front of you every single day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're gonna post the same relationship quotes, the same selfies, the same food. Like they're just posting it every single day. Like that's why so many people tired of Instagram. Then they prioritizing the reels and all of that stuff. The people selling stuff. Like, yeah, like Twitter just funny, man. Like it's just pure, bro. It's just pure,
Okay. What about you, Anthony? You be on Twitter a lot?
I'm starting to get back into it a lot because I kind of fell off of it a while ago, and then I was kind of getting back on. I was on Instagram a lot, but now I'm getting back on Twitter a lot because Instagram is cool, but Instagram, like everything you said, pretty much is how I feel. Is too much. That's what I'm gonna say, and I think I might have talked to you about it. A lot of people are trying to. I love supporting people, right?
You love supporting people.
In the same breath, it's annoying as fuck. Because when people it's always on Instagram. Instagram, I have a lot of people that are entrepreneurs or have this and have that, rappers and things like that. And it's like, okay, when I get on Instagram, it's always somebody in my DMs talking about hey, can you repost this for me? You done it before, and I told you like I hate reposting people's stuff. I hate doing this supporting stuff. Even though like I like to do it like off the muscle. Like if I fuck with you, if I'm cool with you, I will see your post whenever you post it, and I repost it just off the muscle of the fact that I like you or because of the fact that I like what you're doing. But people be in my DMs a lot, and it kind of gets annoying to have to see you post something and you in my DMs, comment, like, subscribe. So I might get off of Instagram for a little bit and just focus on Twitter because I kind of just hate seeing it every day.
Okay, so I'm gonna comment on that in a second, but we're gonna try this again. Okay, boom, you good now.
Boy, when you talk about technical difficulties on 1,000, my goodness.
All right, so Jay Shep, this is Jonzo Ball, there's Antho. We've been on here for about 40 minutes, but it's okay because you finna come in with some fire. Tell the people what's your name, where you're from, and where you live now.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jay Shep. I'm from Houston, Texas. I currently reside in Houston, Texas. And yeah, man, I'm ready to be, let's I'm ready to talk, man.
Okay, so we've been talking about quite a few things. We still got a lot more to cover, but we talked about quite a few things. So right now we were just talking about Twitter. And I asked my boy John, I said, why do you get on Twitter? He said, because it's the funniest thing. Because I know a lot of people had to get off of Twitter because of this excessive corn, the excessive corn that is on, read between the lines, corn that's on Twitter. And it's like, it's just a lot. So he stated that he didn't say nothing about that. But Anthos said that he about to go back to Twitter. He said because Instagram, somebody's always on Instagram DM him asking him, can they repost something? And then he threw me under the bus. But even with that, what is your take? We'll just make this question. What is your favorite social media platform right now? Why?
I would say Instagram, probably because of the other business aspect of it. I do have a media company, and we're always pushing something. But I do, on the flip side, I do understand what Antho was talking about with like, everybody's asking you to repost something all the time. Like, especially, I deal with a lot of musicians. I do a lot of creatives. And, everybody's trying to get their work out there. But I can't repost everything. I can give you a thumbs up. I appreciate your work if I appreciate it. If you know what I'm saying, if I don't appreciate it, then it's like I'm not gonna even like. I might have to hit you on the side like, "Hey, big dog, let's have a conversation." But I would say Instagram, and then Instagram first, Twitter definitely second, because Twitter you're gonna get your laughs off.
Okay. So my next question is, what is y'all take? And I'll start with John again. What is your take on the whole phrase, you'll sleep when you're dead?
I never believed in that. But I guess how are you framing it? Like, are you asking like for people that like work so hard that they're like, I can sleep later, or are you asking it for people that just don't take sleep seriously? Like what? Like
No, the first one. The first one.
well, I mean, just scientifically, like we need rest. You know what I'm saying? Like there's you know what I mean? Like it's just a proven fact that like we need rest to function. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask that, you know what I mean? Because I've always been, a little lazy. I'm always gonna lay it down. I'm always gonna sit down, you know what I'm saying, and get some rest and some sleep. For sure. I ain't gonna never just work to the point where I can't sleep or rest. But if anybody feels like that, like, just you gotta learn how to sit down. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn how to, be okay with a solid day's work and get back to it tomorrow. Cause like I said, like, talking about you can sleep when you dead, the dead gonna come faster than you think for sure. Like we need rest to function and we need rest to, live at a high level.
Yeah. Anybody else want to add on that one?
Yeah, I agree with those. I agree with both those statements. I think the term like sleep when you're dead, I think that's for like the fake go getter mentality. Nah, I always gotta go get it. I gotta find another bag. I gotta flip this to this. I gotta do this and it's like, hey, bro, you can't take your money. You can't haul the money to the funeral.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's like, dog, you gotta get your rest in. You gotta get that foundation of and that's not always sleep. Sometimes you can just be drained. You can just be tired, like, and you still moving around. You know what I'm saying? Like rest could just mean you just need to take a stop for a second and get your mind right, to get your body right. Of course, we can equate that to sleep, but I feel like sometimes it's just taking a moment to stop and sitting what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes too, and my bad, Anthony, like just to, go before you, but like sometimes we can like romanticize the struggle. You know what I mean? I know it's kind of like the grind, but you can like romanticize the struggle. You know what I'm saying? And like you picture this person that's staying up all night, not sleeping, not eating. You know what I'm saying? Prioritizing work over everything, and you think that's what you need to do to get to where you're going. You know what I'm saying? But I bet you if you ask Bill Gates, Jay-Z, any of these people, you know what I'm saying, they'll tell you to sit your ass down. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, it's just like sometimes we can like romanticize the grind or the struggle to the point to where it hinders us. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but you got to find that balance or you're not going to make it to where you're trying to go, period.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree with both of those guys, honestly, because I know the last time I was like really just like working super duper hard and not really getting that much sleep, I want to like getting like really really sick, and I'm like, I couldn't do that no more after that. So that stuff really will. It can kill you for real. So
if you don't take, everyone say if you don't get the rest, your body gonna take it for you. So that's why a lot of them people be sick all the time. And like you said, you saying you sleep when you dead, death gonna be a lot sooner. As we creep into this spooky season, because because for real, like so many people be looking old these days, and I be like, but it's all that. It's the no sleeping, it's all that liquor, it's them terrible diets, and then you be looking at people and you be like, we both dirty. No.
Now, is he who at 50-15 made you mad?
No, look, 50-15, I don't have nothing bad to say about 50-15 because they ain't told me. So
I kid.
No, he ain't drank in 2 months, so now he judging people. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Now everybody that drink look way older than him. You know what I'm saying? So he came out here talking about not judging. Now he ain't drinking 2 months. Now he's super righteous, I guess.
Oh my God.
He said he said I'm on alkaline water and vegetables right now, boy. Catch up.
Well,
sea moss. I got it. I get it.
I wish I was on air right now, but over here sweating. Jay shut my ears out. So this just happened just right now. Okay, so I like the whole romanticize the struggle thing. Now, men are expected to be providers and protectors. We all know this. What is your take when people may guilt trip men for taking those breaks or rest because we're the providers, we're the protectors, we all these things? Now, I'm gonna say this because I kind of feel like we already answered it low key, because if you don't get the rest you need, it's not gonna work. So you won't be at your 100% and to be able to do all these things if you don't get the proper rest that you need. And like they say, rest is not always sleep. Sometimes it is just taking a break. Sometimes it is just, no, I can't come in today. That's my favorite one. I don't care if anybody ever struggle or want to take off work, but like start overthinking it, call me. I'm gonna make you feel way more comfortable with doing it. Trust me.
Say less.
Okay. Oh, you said say less. I thought you said say this. Okay. No, all right, bet. All right. So let's go to the next segment, which is the weekly sabbatical. Now I go to all forms for my research, every angle, so I can get like every aspect of these types of conversations. So I actually did research and found out he's made the comment about righteous. So it actually goes into this segment because it says, what does the Bible say about self-care? And this is from an article by Grace Liu. It says, while the Bible doesn't directly address the idea of self-care, it offers guidance for understanding the role of our physical bodies and mental health. It says, since the time of Moses in the Old Testament, God has provided instruction for the care of our bodies and minds, values, and commands rest. We just talked about that. And then it says a care for our physical bodies, Exodus 22 to 26 to 27. And it said also, Jesus himself prioritized rest. When he faced with great crowds, Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. He cared for the disciples. He had no leisure to even eat and instructed them to rest a while. He also, I know for a fact, he would sleep on the boat when it was rocking. And then he was like, peace, be still. So with that, just throwing it out there, if anybody ever questioned rest or questioned the need to take a break, if they did it, you should too. Now, my next question when it comes to self-care is, with it becoming such a popular topic now, like I said, it's still a little taboo in some areas, but it's definitely become a lot more popular. And I'm gonna start with Antho with this. How do you see? Okay, let me ask this. We've kind of talked about it being a little bit too extreme at times. How do you see self-care going forward? Like, what do you think the projection of self-care amongst men? Like, we having this type of conversation, right? And I'm sure we ain't the only ones, but like, how do you see it going forward? Do you still feel like it's going to be a little more open? Do you still feel like people may still be kind of weird about it? And not just men, just really everybody.
I think it'll be more open going forward. More information is going out there on how you can, go about self-care and things like that. So I think the more we're doing that, the more people can kind of latch on to what they feel is self-care for themselves, and it'll just be a more open thing, I feel, moving forward, honestly.
Okay, Jay, what you think?
I think it'll be a little more open, but I do think right now it's a weird time for it because it's so popularized, and I think I think men have been going through this kind of like self-care thing of figuring out what that is, identifying it for us for all. I would say the probably past 7 years. I would say since like 2017 when it got popularized in the music by certain artists, and then all of a sudden now it's like we're trying to put it into our routines. But I do think that you got to have a balance of like what is self-care, and then what is like, okay, I need to balance, make sure the work still gets done, but also I need to take care of myself. Because sometimes, like, if you just get a little stressed, like, oh, I need to go on vacation, but you might not have gotten done what you need to get done, you get behind on stuff. And some people would be like, oh, you just need your self care. But it's like, oh, no, but you might have still need to accomplish those tasks. But you could do the opposite. You could be going, like, you could be work. And it's like, nah, you actually, bro, you've afford, you have, it's okay for you. You've afforded the time to go relax for a week or two, or take a step back from it. But I just think I think it's a balance. I think it's like you need, I think every man's thing is just finding their balance of both. Getting your duties done as a man, and then at the same time, getting your duties done for yourself and self care.
Yeah, I think, like I've, said really over the last hour, we all do self-care whether we realize it or not, but I think that, in terms of like what the definition of self-care is, I do think that, it could trend positively, because I think that, like, what social media does is it kind of makes the world smaller, right? Like, I think, for example, of like that Drew Walls dude that was like going to Target, what I'm saying? Like setting up the tripod and like recording himself and stuff like that. Like, I think when you see somebody doing something, like we talked about, the going to get pedicures and things like that. Like, I see more men now on their Instagram stories going to get pedicures, and that may be something where you're like, I don't know if I should do this, or I don't know how I feel about it. And then you see somebody like a man, going and getting a pedicure every week, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, okay, like he's doing it, he's posting it on social media, it's no issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be more comfortable doing it, right? Or you see like just whatever, right? Like whatever it is on TikTok, men doing it, and you'd be like, oh, okay, like he does it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I should do that, or like I want to be like him, whatever. So I do think that it's trending in the right direction, just because I think when you're able to see men like be vulnerable and do the things that you thought were taboo at first, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to motivate more men to want to be able to do those things as well. And like I said, like, we so often put these labels on, things that are just simple, basic human nature or hygiene, you know what I mean? I think that, like I said, when you see a man, going out and get a pedicure, you're like, oh, okay, like, it's not, like, I hate to even feed into it, but like, oh, that's not gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just simply going and getting a pedicure. So, just things like that, whatever it is. Like, I do think the prioritization of it and people being more comfortable and people being more vulnerable, that's just naturally going to influence more people to do it.
Hey, Izzy, hold on. Can I chime in real quick?
Go ahead.
So Jonathan, when you was talking, bro, one thing I thought about was when you like I hate to say, but how people used to say like, oh no, that's not gay, stuff like that. It's almost like we have to reverse engineer like the jokes and the things that were kind of like played around with from like elementary and even early like middle school. It's almost like we have to now reverse engineer, like, nah, like, okay, no, that's cool, that's okay. Like, whatever your routine is, to make sure that you okay is your routine. But it's so funny nowadays. Like, I think by indirectly nowadays we're starting to reverse engineer ourselves, and I see my partners do it, and I see a lot of peers in my around starting to, like, you could tell like it's a new thing. It's like, we can do that for real. Oh,
Yeah.
we can. Oh, like we can go to a spa, or we can go get a massage, or we can go. That's okay. I'm
Yeah.
catching that, and so when
No, y'all. Yeah, my bad. I didn't know you wasn't finished, but yeah, that's just a great point. Like, it's a generational thing, because we all got an older family member, probably an older, black male. You told him right now, I'm gonna go get a pedicure. He probably look at you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how it is. Like, so, it's just a generational thing, and I do think, our generation is doing a better job of being more vulnerable and allowing ourselves to do those things. But like I said, like, it just comes with not putting it in the box. I think he said such a great word of like re-engineering how you think about these things, you know what I mean? Because I grew up like thinking like, oh, a manicure meant, getting your nails painted, not cleaning your nails. Like, a pedicure meant getting your feet painted, not cleaning your feet, you know what I'm saying? And things like that. So, yeah, just, when you challenge your thought process and, think, healthy thoughts and not internalize everything, you know what I'm saying? That's a big thing too. I think that, it's helping us push forward.
So with that, because I agree, I agree wholeheartedly, but then we always got to spice it up just a little bit. So again, you made the comment about he not going there getting his nails painted, but what about the men that are? Now we see a trend that's become a trend now, and my take on it is some people are just those super creative people and like rock star lifestyle might not make it. But then, do you feel as though sometimes that the world sometimes may be trying to push things to feminize men in some ways? Because I really feel like it's a slippery slope. Because I do agree that we have been doing a good job of re-engineering stuff. But then in other ways, do you feel like sometimes they may still be trying to push like that feminine man thing?
I think for me, it's just one of those things where, like it just comes down to personal preference, like it doesn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it still kind of jump scares me though. When I see it, I'll be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, that's crazy. You know what I mean? It's still not something that's natural to me. But like I said, like, people deserve to do what makes them happy. You know what I mean? And if people want to do it to get a fit off or, they do it for whatever reason, it makes them feel good, then whatever. Like, you'll never see me with my nails painted. Like, I still think that's kind of crazy, but you know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, if it's not bothering nobody, you know what I mean? If they just going out there putting a little, a little acrylic on their shit or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, then more power to them. Like, it's not something I would do, but I mean, yeah, I think it is what it is, and yeah, I mean, like, it could be looked at as being feminine. You know what I'm saying? It could just be looked at as nail polish. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how you want to look at it. But like I said, it's not something I rock with. But it's also not something that's really hurting anybody either. So
Yeah.
kind of just got to let people express themselves how they want to. Because I'm big on fashion, and I always think like fashion is expression. And so if people think painting their nails is expression, then that is what it is. And I've also been big on like, obviously naturally there are some gender and sex differences, but like what is the reason that we look at a woman and say, oh, her painting her nails is regular, and we look at a man and say that's weird, right? It's just because we've been conditioned to think, you know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason we look at it as a man being weird and a woman being regular when they do the same thing. So
yeah,
like I'm all for same rules apply to everybody. So
I think that too is kind of like this whole episode has been geared towards making it to where, because in society, let's keep it 100, we see two extremes: the hyper masculine, go make a sandwich, bark like a dog woman, and then we got the extremely hyper feminine man. So it's like it's either you on one side or the
Bark
other.
like a dog.
But in reality, it was on the show where I got that from. But in reality, stuff like this makes it to where it's like, you don't, yeah. But I think that moving forward, like I said, we need more conversation like this. And like I said, a lot of stuff that's been said in here is a lot of good clippable material that would definitely get the conversation going, for sure. So, and then we talk about spas. We know spas really not new because niggas been going to spas. They just wasn't getting cucumbers. They was getting happy endings.
Wait, hold on. That's the massage. That's the massage parlors. That's different. Look, someone I think it was on Ocho. It was with Nightcap, Ocho and Shannon. It all depends on the price you pay and the tints on the windows.
Oh, see, they got the full. I could see Shannon Sharp going to one. I could see that.
I could see Chad before Shannon, but that's a different story. We'll talk about that.
They both them some old school players.
Hey, but nah, my bad. Jonathan, what you said about the kind of like your take on the fashion with the nails. I wanted to chime in on that, Easy, which I was gonna say this. I agree with Jonathan on that. I feel like expression is expression in fashion. And so like I might not look that deep into it when people say I'm just trying to make a fashion statement, but I do think in like me working in the media entertainment, I do think there is a push to feminize the black male in film in certain roles. But it's real. It's kind of undertone.
Yeah.
It's kind of undertone. I think in certain aspects, it can be in certain aspects. It's just a character, and people try to make it tasteful. But I do think in certain ways they try to put some people in a box like, hey, you should do this. And if they're not comfortable with it, they shouldn't be punished for it. That's what I would say. I think the big thing is if you don't want to get put in that box and you don't want to hit that extreme because that's just not what you're comfortable with. I think you shouldn't be ostracized for that. You know what I'm saying? In certain roles. But if you want to do that, let's say you are on a comedian role and like that doesn't bother you, you shouldn't be ostracized for that either. Because it's like, yo, you want to push your creative boundary. So it's like a yin and yang.
No, I think that's a good point. Like we heard Cat Williams say it, you know what I mean? Like we've seen it so often. Like so many of our black actors that we looked up to growing up, like they always tried to put them in a dress, you know what I'm saying? Because that's like representation, you know what I mean? Like Cat Williams said, you're not gonna put me in a dress. Like, but you know, like I do think that there has been like an effort, you know, from the media to like push the feminization of the black man and ultimately destroy the black family, right? Because it's like when we look at you know, so many other races, and I know we're getting like, you know, we can go from self-care to like, you know, race politics, you know what I'm saying? But that was just all that what comes out. Like when you look at all these other, you know, like whites and, you know, Jews and Asians and Hispanics in some sense, like I think what they have that we really lack is black people is community, right? They just have like a really strong sense of community that at times we can struggle with. And I think a lot of that comes from, you know, the dynamics of family, right? And you see so many, you know, like single mother households, you know what I mean, and things like that, or you know, like feminization of the black man and things like that. Like that does affect the, you know, family as a whole and affects community as a whole. So, you know, that's just systemic. That's, you know, racism. That's government from the top down and all of that. But you know, it's definitely a thing for sure.
Most definitely. So now, before I go to the final part, I just want to ask. So we know again, and you said this, we rearing off. Not really, because these are conversations that needs to be had, and it's still a part of it. Because again, it all aligns. It all aligns. Because if you say, "Oh, your favorite big actor," now he got on a dress and he then shaved his mustache and the 27 piece, and you see him doing that, and it's somebody you done looked up to, and all these things, and how you made the comment about, you know, you may see somebody on Instagram. Oh, okay, bet I can go shop at Target and go get me a pumpkin scented candle, or oh, I can go and get my manicure and pedicure now. Oh, my boy got on a dress. So imagine if Shannon Sharp put on a dress, that'd be Mrs. Netta. So imagine if Ocho Cinco put on a dress, and you'll see him in dress. You'll be like, and you almost everything he do, you look up to. And now you like,
You said disrespectful.
Hey man, that's like y'all remember that episode of Boondocks where it was Gangsta-licious?
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Little Riley.
Yeah.
Riley was hurt.
Yeah,
He was hurt.
he's like, so give Gangsta-licious gang.
Yeah,
that
the
mean
crop
I'm
top
gay?
with the skirt in a little bag, you know what I'm saying?
But again, that's a great example of satire. So we making fun of stuff that's going on because it's like this what they, you know, try to do. And even looking back, Boondocks was ahead of his time. And when I was like, that was on, it came out, I was like in 4th grade. So like, you know, and I think the reruns are on HBO Max. I started watching it one day. I think it was the episode where they had Winston Churchill, the Tyler Perry episode that he had got banned apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So finally, let's end off with some tips and some things for self-care that I found. This is here's a summary of them from Black Men from BlackMen'sHealth.com. So the first one is to talk to a therapist. We already discussed that. Like I said, people have mixed reviews, but if you can, like say for instance, if you're in education or if you are in some form of school, because most schools do cover that fee these days. I know Texas Southern did, and I know most education districts do. So look into that. If you can go for free, just go. The main thing both of them said was, I'm not paying for that. But if they could get it for free, they might check it out just to see what it's about. You know what I'm saying? You got an extra hour, watch a week to spare. And you never know, you might get in there and bust out boohoo crying, not even realize you had all this built up. So, you know, check that out. The second one we didn't really talk about, but we're going to talk about visiting a doctor. Most people, especially black men, don't go to the doctor. Now you confused when you look up and find out you got hypertension and high cholesterol, and they trying to put you on medication. Now you confused. But all you had to do was go once I'm gonna say once a week, once a year at least to get your physical. The third one we talked about, exercise frequently. The fourth one I like, practice gratitude. Be thankful for where you are now because it could be worse. It could be worse. The fifth one, which we done a lot here today, hopefully y'all did, laugh a lot. I laughed often. If I could be a laugh, I would. But, I laugh pretty regularly. And the sixth one, read or listen to books. I don't think we get enough of that. I think that we need to do more of that. Like I said, a lot of gems are hidden in books. So, if you don't want to read it, maybe you struggle with that. They have audio books that you can listen to them. And all you got to do is put your headphones in and just press play. The next one is spend time with loved ones. We talked about that. This is a great one I think is missed out. We didn't really cover, but a great form of self-care is discovering your why, discovering your purpose. I think sometimes we get caught up in not knowing why we're here. And I think that so many people here today talk about podcasts, owning media, media production companies and things. We have to find why we're here. What are we here to do? The ninth one, practice forgiveness and letting go of grudges. I know black men can hold grudges. That runs in our family. You laughing? Do you hold grudges?
Hell yeah! I just I hold grudges. I just recently started like reconnecting with people that I think I was not messing with for since like high school. So I just started kind of like, you know what? I was childish of me going to grudge for this long, and it just be like stupid stuff. But like, if I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. Like that's how my mama is. Like if she don't mess with you, she don't mess with you forever. And that's kind of how I was. So I've been trying to change that for some people that feel like that. I already felt I was over some dumb stuff or it wasn't no point. So I've been changing that lately. So I think I'm doing good.
I think that's like a big thing in our generation too. Like we just be so quick to like cut somebody off and be like, all right, cool. I'll just I'll put you no more. Like I ain't gonna talk to them no more. And it's like, whether it's with a partner or a friend, like communicate. You know what I'm saying? Fix things. You know what I'm saying? Like if it can be fixed. Obviously some stuff is just like, bro, you can't you can't come back from that. But yeah, like I said, we just be so quick to isolate ourselves or, cut somebody off or say, I don't need nobody. Like, and nah, like, like you said, rebuild those bridges, even if they've been burnt, what I mean? Like reconnect with people, communicate, fix things, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you never know when you're going to need people and like just having that sense of community, having good people around you, you know what I mean? So we got to stop, like I said, just isolating ourselves and just be cool with, cutting everybody off. You know what I mean? You're going to go through, stuff with people you love, but, make sure you fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jay, do you hold grudges?
Nah, life's too short for that.
Well, what I will say to piggyback off Ant is because a lot of times in society, and a lot of people don't hold grudges, but a lot of people do. And I think what I can't stand is when people lie to themselves and be like, they don't hold grudges. Yes, you do. Not saying everybody does, but I'm saying a lot of people be doing that and be like, oh, I don't even care for real. Yes, you do. Stop lying. Stop trying to live this facade like you unbothered because you bothered. And it's okay. It's okay. So to hear him say what he said was definitely needed because a lot of people try to fake the funk like they don't care and they do, especially coming from someone of your complexion. Go ahead.
But I would say, first of all, forget you. What I would say is like a lot of times with the grudges that I did hold, like I never really cared. But it's just like that's why I'm so open to like actually like discontinuing the grudge because like it was pointless to even have it in the first place. People that actually did probably have a reason for it, forget you forever, like 100%. But one that it shouldn't have been a grudge in the first place, I'm willing to discontinue that and see what's up with you.
Okay.
And I think, like what Jay said too is, and I kind of talked about it earlier, from the health perspective. But you see like a rich homie Quan, pass away, and it's like, damn, did him and Young Thug ever fix, what they had, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So, you just never know. And I know we take that for granted continuously, even now, like we probably, beefing with people and, we'd probably be devastated if we heard something about them tomorrow, but it's real. You know what I mean? Like you really never know when you're going to get that call or that text. And so really got to appreciate people while they're here. Cause I mean, they could be gone like that for sure.
And you know what? I think sometimes piecing up doesn't always have to mean like I got to be buddy with you. That just means, okay, we had a convo. You might have felt this way. I might feel that way. And I still might feel this way. You might still feel that way. But it's like, hey, bro, I don't hate you. You know, because hate such a strong word. Like, all right, bro, we agree to disagree. I go my way, you go your way. But I've said my piece. I got it off my chest. I think the biggest thing with like when people hold grudges or grievances and things of that nature, because I'm a little bit like Anthro. I get you too. F you forever. Like sometimes, like in the sense of saying it's not a grudge. It's just like I don't have to like you. I'm okay. I'm the guy that's okay with not liking somebody and like not caring about you. Like I don't wish you no harm. I hope you a great father. I hope you, ma'am. I hope you might be a great mother one day. I hope y'all are great family people. But I just don't got. I don't have to care for you.
Yeah. And I agree. And I said that recently we had this conversation with some people when I was in Austin, and I was like, and they had brought up something about a person. It was like, it's not that I don't like them. It's you don't like them. It's okay. It's okay not to like somebody. Now, when you get to being rude and disrespectful, that's different. But it's okay not to like people. And I think that a lot of times we think that that's wrong. Like we want to act like, again, like I said, we so unbothered, or oh, you know, it ain't even. I'm so good on you're lying. You lying to yourself. You don't like them. It's okay. Now it's not you got to swing on them when you see them. Some of y'all might, you know, some of y'all from the hood, so y'all might, but you know, you don't have to do that because it really ain't that deep. Half the stuff y'all be mad at don't be that deep, but it is on some like it's good enough to give you the deuces. All right, the next one they said take a break from social media. We kind of covered that. The third one, or the 11th one, I should say, it actually says engage in a healthy sex life. It says provided that it's safe and with another consenting adult. Because it said, yes, it feels great, but did you know that having a healthy sex life lowers blood pressure, boosts your immune system, improves heart health, and raises self-esteem? Now, even I'll add to that, like the whole masturbation thing, which we mentioned earlier, like don't go too crazy now, because a lot of times y'all be risking y'all last for that, and then you know. But that's another conversation. We're gonna get a sexpert for the podcast. Number 12 is give to others.
Hold on, no. Your last.
Huh? You said what?
You ain't risking your last. People be going so they can't go no more.
Listen.
And what I'll just say really quickly, I'm not even gonna just super elaborate on it, but have sex that you can be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, don't be out here just doing it, bro. Like just have sex you can be proud of, because you know, like I'm not gonna say we all, you know, I ain't gonna just, you know, put nothing on them, but you know, you probably did something you like, I ain't have to do that, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I kind of forced that, you know what I'm saying? Like have sex you can be proud of, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to have sex and then be doubting yourself after, or be questioning like, damn, why did I do that? Like, or feeling bad after, you know what I'm saying? So have sex you could be proud of, you know what I mean?
That's really a good tip right there, honestly. Yeah, that's a good tip.
But it's like, don't just do it just to do it. Like, you better than that. You know what I'm saying? If somebody gonna take one thing from this hour and a half, like, have sex you be proud of for sure.
Hey man, you don't want to have that.
Like I said, John dropping the gems. Like I said, you might need to add you another podcast on your list of things to do besides the one you're doing. Like, do that one too, because you know we live in a world where we having 2 and 3 podcasts. So, you know,
yeah, I'm gonna keep it sports for now. You know what I'm saying? But you know, this is a cool little, you know, change of pace for sure. You know what I mean? Just talking like life stuff. You know, I ain't never really got on the mic and did this.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Look at that. Final ones that we're going through. We said give to others. Tackle procrastinated task. I have a planner. I don't know if anybody cares, but I have a planner. This is how I stay active and stay consistent with what I'm doing, because we can't rely on them phones, because you just can't. I mean, you can have them in there. I would say may do both, but if you had to pick one or the other, I would do this. Set and accomplish goals. And then the 15th one, the final one from the website, have fun in daily life. And that's all I'm about. And I'm going to have an episode soon, the challenges that's talking about missing out on fun, but that won't be for a little while. We actually got to record that in the next few days. All right. Finally, for the audience, for something I want y'all to practice, what is one self-care practice you struggle with and why? How can you integrate this into your routine this week? Share your experiences with us and inspire other men to prioritize. All right, good stuff. So this has been a great episode. Again, this drops literally in 2 days. Quick turnaround. Anything any of y'all want to add before we go? Want to say any of that?
Just, you know, like just kind of rewrapping everything I've said, like, you know, just understand that self-care is whatever you like to do, whatever you indulge in, you know what I'm saying? So you know, don't put it in a box and don't think of it as, you know, feminine, or you know, just, you know, going to the nail shop, getting a massage, getting a facial. Like I said, you know, self-care could be playing 2K. Like self-care could be watching football all day on Saturday or Sunday. Self-care could be out there cutting the grass, going and hooping with your partners. And so, just do what you love to do. You know what I'm saying? Embrace what you love to do. Like if you 30 years old and you still play Pokemon, like do that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like anime, do that. Like this life is short, do what you love, do what makes you happy, and really lean into it.
All right. Antho.
Boy, Jonathan been getting them gems for real. I agree with everything you be saying most majority of the time for sure.
All right, Jay, before we go.
I would say it's kind of like piggyback off what Jonathan said, but maybe in a different wording. But I think everybody just needs to find their healthy rhythms. Kind of find you. So before finding anyone else or having the world find you, find yourself. You know what I'm saying? Figure out what you like, what you don't like. Be true to you, and be true to your body. Be true to your mental. Like everybody, you kind of know when you falling off a little bit, and that doesn't mean you're not getting stuff done. I'm talking about like everybody knows when you start feeling sad. You know when you start feeling sad, or when you start, your body feels like it's not clicking. Like when it's not clicking. So it's like, don't fall too deep into that. If you can, like, try to figure it out like beforehand, like. Whether if it's a health thing, it's like, okay, how can I try to figure this out? If it's a sad or depressed thing, go try to find someone you can talk to. It doesn't have to be a therapist. It could be a friend, or go find like a thing that you love to do. If you love to hoop, go hoop. If you love to go play football, go run routes or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Go, just go find your healthy rhythms and drink your water and be peaceful. That's all I can say.
I'm gonna say one last thing too. Like, every day you get on social media and social media trying to tell you, what type of man you should be. You know what I'm saying? But surround yourself with people that are willing to meet you where you are. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a partner, a woman, your friends, like, like surround yourself with people who are willing to meet you where you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get on social media and internalize all these memes and all these tweets and all these, quotes about what type of man you should be. Like, get people in your circle that are willing to meet you where you are.
Block Justin LeBoy.
Yeah, let me stop because I didn't say stuff about him a few times on this. He be saying anything and go viral.
Block that man.
So he the new shade room.
And block any woman reposting that man.
Block any woman who be reposting him. That's 100% block him.
Is he the new shade room?
I don't even follow shade room, so I don't know.
I don't either, but
But
okay,
pretty much, yeah. Progress, not perfection.
Progress, not perfection. All right. Good stuff. All right. Well, thank y'all for coming to this first virtual panel discussion. We will have many more in the future. That's all I got to say. I appreciate each and everybody that's tuned in and popped on for this. PSA signing out. Always remember, keep your head up like your neck hurt. Remember who you are. Make your mind up. Don't let it make you. And remember, I love us for real.